I watched the anime, man. I watched it. And from what I could remember, Nazuna was so poor that I'm certain that she couldn't afford 100 bottles of hair gel. So what is up with her hair staying in place when she is upside down? Hi and welcome back to the channel. I'm Steven with your weekly figure news fix. This time around 16th of September to 21st of September 2024. For the week, the number of figures are not too many, just nice for both sides, including the third parties. Part of it was because the 16th of September was a public holiday, not just in my country, but over in China, I think they were having Mid-Autumn Festival holidays as well. Yeah, so we have a bit less resin figures compared to last week. Okay, now we shall move on to genuine figures making use of Hobby Link Japan, HLJ, which is our affiliate partner. And I have selected the figures I want to cover. Now, a quick mention about Pelverse over here, which I don't cover normally. There are a few Pelverse figures this week. Seems like they are in trouble when it comes to copyright stuff. Yeah, I've read a few news on copyright infringement related to Nintendo and stuff. I thought that they have always been working together, a collab. But apparently it isn't. Okay. Moving up, the first figure 1x4 skill as usual. We have Hanjuri from Street Fighter 6 in bunny outfit. Though this is not your typical bunny outfit, it is like customized in design to suit her. And this is actually one of the better looking Hanjuri figures I've seen in the past month or so. Past few months even. And that pose over there, this is totally in line with her character in the game. She is like very confident about her abilities, her skills, and she is always taunting her opponents. Even her ultra skill, her combo skill also involves some taunting. That is actually part of the reason why I liked her in the game since I started using her in Street Fighter 4 back then. Yeah. So at 35,000 yen, this is actually a good buy for a freeing 1x4 skill. Just for the unique pose alone. Seriously, this is a good buy. Yeah. Moving up, the next one. Oh, what happened here, freeing? What happened here? Why aren't we leading this JK over here? It feels like there is a general consensus among all figure manufacturers not to dress up this girl over here, Sayu Ogiwara, in clothes that reveal too much skin, no? Every single scale figure of her, be it 1x7, 1x6 or 1x4, yeah, there isn't much skin shown. Even though JK's wearing barely any clothes are the best thing ever. Okay, so from Higehiro, I did watch the anime, like all 12 episodes. Do not let a JK live with you. At least in Japan. Just Higehiro, I'm not reading the whole title. By freeing at 35,000 yen 1x4 skill in this bunny suit. Wow. I'm not sure how to describe this. It is like bunny suit with school uniform over. And this is probably one of the safest bunny figures that Freeing has made so far, but it is quite attractive. Oh, okay. Now that I look at her from behind, it is like a magician's outfit. Something like that. Yeah, a magician performance outfit from the back. Very nice. This is like the complete opposite of all of the bunny figures of Senran Kagura figures so far, and it is not necessarily a bad thing. The next 1x4 skill over here are Shikimori. 36k coming out in April next year. I find it interesting that as a seasonal anime in some way, Shikimori is getting a little bit more attention from figure brands than I initially would have predicted. She also had an overpriced scale figure from Prisma Wing. Nope, I can't recommend that one. And I do believe she has affordable figures from Tenitol at least. Maybe also Pop-Up Parade, I can't remember, but Tenitol does have a figure of her. Can I recommend this one? It really all boils down whether you like the character or not, whether you like the anime or not. For me, not so much. Yeah, but 36k is normal price, right, for 1x4 nowadays. But tell that to this Chinese figure brand. I have covered this in over at OSGK section, right, third party section a few weeks ago. She is now available in HLJ and presumably every Japanese site because this is a licensed original character figure by Abilo Design. So you can get a 1x4 scale Jasmine's Changing Time nurse figure for only slightly over 15,000 yen. Oh, yes, get one. This is worth it, right? And a little bit of extra information for you guys. Abilo Design is the PVC scale figure division of ACY Studio, the third-party figure brand. Yup. They are under ACY Studio or SC Studio. I just call them ACY. And is this figure castable? Initially, I thought that she was castable, but actually the answer is no. Well, not in this version. There is a separate version of her later on where you need to purchase separately, where you can display her without any clothes on. But that is a separate purchase as far as I'm aware of. So with this specific 15,000 yen version, no, she is not castable. And the next one over here, also by Abilo Design. Also, I covered her on OSGK a few weeks ago. The sister online version instead, which I don't like that much. I prefer the nurse version earlier if I had to choose, but 2 1x4 scales for 30k isn't that bad of the price. And honestly speaking, I wouldn't mind not having the casted off version of her. Like, I don't need every single figure that I buy to be completely Hadaka. Like, it makes no sense, right? Okay, moving on to the next one. Okay, 1x5 scale. There are 2 versions of this figure by Q6. Q6 means Sugoi Dekai figures that are borderline obese in a way. But people love them somehow and they are extremely value for money. Yeah, they are good buys. Assuming that you like this kind of figures, they are not too expensive given their size. As you can see over here, JK Miya-chan going for almost 25,000 yen only. This is the fair version or vanilla version as I call it. And there is the chocolate version or tanned version. I'm being influenced by Ilya and Kuro from the Fate series. Yeah, Fate Khalid Prisma Ilya. So I'll call them vanilla and chocolate. Also Nekopara, yeah. As for this very specific case over here, I actually prefer the 10th version because of the gold color outfit, which unfortunately I can't show in my video coverage today because YouTube is being such a bitch about it. Overall, the color scheme, I think the 10th version look a bit better. That is my subjective opinion, but they are great value buys overall. Moving up to the next one, we have 1x6 scale Nurse Aerof. I believe that this figure brand called Vibrastar, which is an ecchi figure brand from China and a branch of Any Game, by the way. Many people don't know that. Vibrastar is under Any Game and Any Gift. Yeah, they had this Aerof figure, but what was the outfit again? I can't remember. Like some kind of casual outfit. That one is heavily discounted now. Can find one for less than 18,000 yen even. And that is a very good figure, right? Now there is a new version over here in Nurse outfit, which I don't like that much in comparison to the older version. Fortunately, the older version is not that rare. Yeah, go and find her. Even in AmiAmi, I believe you can find her in the sale section or pre-owned section. Over in Taobao, you can also find her for less than 1,000 Chinese yuan, 990 or so. Yeah. This one is like generic nurse outfit with barely any clothes on, and I'm not sure if I like it. Not to mention that her melons are too round and perfect that it is beginning to look a bit too unnatural in my opinion. Moving up to the next figure, this is something you do not want to miss out if you are a big fan of this artist called Rurudo and this specific character Evie, where, was it Eve? Anyways, there has been several scale figures of her out already, and almost every single one of them have skyrocketed in value, all the way to the moon. 30,000 yen, 50,000 yen even, it is not even funny. Yeah, every scale figure of her, especially the ecchi ones, the cast-offable ones, was it by Charm? I can't remember. Yeah, really expensive now. And even though Any Gift is the kind of figure brand that doesn't make ecchi figures because that is Vibrastar's job to do it, don't sleep on this one. If you like the character design, pre-order it early before you regret it. Yeah, this character is no joke. I think except for a single figure made by Union Creative, where the value isn't isn't doing very well because Union Creative isn't exactly the best when it comes to QC, but literally every single other skill figure of her by other brands, man, the value is insane. So yeah, grab one while you still can. Moving on to the next one, 1x6 again. Succubus State Life Toko Sakuramachi Bunny version by Orchid Seed. Sometimes I don't know why, like they have this figure, they call it a figure by Orchid Seed. And then they make another figure, it is under Tuberosa Plus instead, when both are the same company. And Orchid Seed is supposed to have renamed themselves since then. Anyways, not a fan of this one. Even at 23,000 yen, which isn't expensive for 1x6 skill, I'm not a fan of the character design at all. This looks like that boring class president, class rep in your high school. Yeah, that boring bookworm girl who is always studying every day, wearing big glasses, and she's trying to appeal to the dudes, so she is dressing up as a bunny girl. Kind of sad that we are not getting fabric stockings. Yeah, obviously none of them over there, so I'm not a fan of this one. Moving up to the next one. Oh, if you ask me which is my favorite scale figure this week on the genuine side, this is it. This Asuka Shikinami Langley hoodie version, boy, that hoodie there makes her look extra cool for some reason. You know, AmiAmi wearing the very same hoodie by Alter, very expensive now, at least 30 to 35,000 yen, at least, when her official retail price was like 22,000 yen. Yeah, not too far off from this figure of Asuka over here, but she is now 30 plus minimum. Yeah, and I kind of regretted not getting one back then. Doesn't matter whether you're looking at AmiAmi or Mandarake, or even you look at Taobao to help yourself to save your butt because it is expensive in Japan. Nope, you can't run. Even over in China, that Asuka is also pretty expensive now. Yeah, maybe not as expensive as in Japan, but also very pricey. And for that reason alone, pre-order this Asuka before you regret it. Yes. For me, it feels kind of sad, like even if I get this figure of Asuka, but yeah, I don't have AmiAmi Rei. It feels incomplete, you know. It feels like I need both as a set or something feels missing. That is the feeling I'm having right now, a conflicted feeling. And you get an extra head sculpt as you can see. So this 23k over here is a great price. Once again, get one before the value goes up. Okay, moving up to the next one, we have a pair of Girls Band Cry figures from Kotobukiya. They are a bit pricey for sure for a Kotobukiya figure, but I think licensing cost, was it Toei Animation? I think it is. One of the biggest a-holes in the anime industry. They are very trigger happy with copyright stuff, yeah. I mean, a lot of anime YouTubers, maybe they review anime or they react to anime, yeah, they got hit by copyright claims or strikes by Toei Animation. So one can imagine that the license isn't cheap, which is why this simple figure of Tomo Ebizuka over here at 1x7 goes for almost 24,000 yen, when Kotobukiya stuff are normally not that expensive. But who cares, right? Because the paint work on this figure is outstanding. This is the kind of painting I would never expect to see Kotobukiya doing. You look at the shading on her otherwise very plain, boring looking white color outfit. Look at the 50 shades of grey over there on her dress. Oh, that looks fantastic. Yeah, I really wish that Kotobukiya paint their figures like this even more often. Maybe the Art FX series, maybe they can skip that because that is a budget line of scale figures at 1x8. But for everything else, please paint your figure like this, Kotobukiya. Yeah, sure, 23,000 yen, sure. As long as the quality and the paintwork is there, the details are there, I can accept it. And the same thing applies to this figure of Subaru Awa, same price, coming out in May next year. I like how attractive the figure is despite the simplicity. And I am no musician, I have no idea what that thing on the floor is called. I'm just going to call it a drum when it obviously isn't. I like it a lot. Yeah. So the shading on this is not going to be as obvious, I think, because of the color of her outfit. Yeah, less shading. But overall, still a great looking figure, and obviously a pair with this figure of Tomo Abizuka. So yeah, do grab both if you're interested. Moving up to the next one, we have Uma Musume. Agnes Station by Alter. Wow. Alter is making a lot of affordable figures lately. That is very welcome. So she is under 22,000 yen, August release in 2025. So I just want to take a closer look. Yeah, she looks great. We'll see a simple school uniform, or the winter school uniform, right? I think that is a winter kind, which looks a bit like a sweater. Look at how many shades of yellow and orange over there. I just love Alter's paintwork when it comes to this segment over here. And the base is great. Yeah, I think Kotobukiya had similar bases for their Uma Musume figures. It is a thing in Uma Musume, I suppose, their trophy, right? The base must be that. Alright, moving up to the next scale figure, we have Kana Arima Cat-made version. 1x6, very nice, from Union Creative, just under 20k. Oh, that is cheap, right? May released 2024. Alright, so this figure, I saw it in one of the previous events. I can't remember whether it was One Fest or earlier, but regardless, you know, when this figure was displayed at the event, she did not look as impressive as the sample pictures over here. So now I have to ask myself, was the sample figure of Kana Arima displayed at One Fest a few months earlier, was that an unfinished prototype? Like they just painted a single layer of paint, or just 2 or 3 layers of paint. They have not yet done the shading, so it does not look as good. Or was Union Creative, is Union Creative going to not live up to their promises compared to what is being shown to us here in the official product pictures? Like, there is a lot of nice gradient painting over here. Look at her hair over there. Yeah, the very edges are lighter in color. And then even the gray color made outfits, right? There are so many gradients of gray color, 50 shades of gray once again. However, this figure of Kana does not look anywhere as good a few months back in the event. So I'm not sure which is which. Like, is Union Creative trying to overpromise and underdeliver, or the prototype we saw a few months back were unfinished products? Let's hope it is the latter, right? Because this is looking exceptionally good for something made by Union Creative, and I'm not exactly against you deciding to pre-order this figure, because regardless, at 1x6 scale, under 20k, this can't be a bad purchase. Especially when there are no ultra fine details on this figure. Those thin gold color trims on some idol outfits, you know, none of that over here. So I don't think Union Creative would screw up that badly in that regard. So overall, I would say this is one of the better Kana Arima figures to buy. Though personally, my favorite might be the one that Good Smile is going to come up with, which is the date style version, the dating version. Yeah, which is also 1x6 if I'm not mistaken, and under 20k. Moving up to the next one, we have another overpriced figure by Prisma Wing. Every other week, every 2 or 3 weeks we see one. So this Shironeko project Tina Topia Neon Islands 10 billion Treadle. Wow, what a name. 45,000 yen. What the heck, man? What the hell? Yes, this is an ultra detailed figure. I get it. But this is at least 10 or 12,000 yen too expensive. And look at the amount of details. Wow. I don't know how are they going to assemble all the parts one by one. It must be really difficult, and this figure must consist of a lot of separate parts, which is partially why it is so expensive. Those are not painted. Those are color injected transparent parts. So if they were to assemble it together, okay, I think I know how they are doing this. The entire chain is transparent, but hey, I'm not an expert when it comes to making figures, so I really don't know how they are doing this. Maybe this is exactly why the figure is so expensive, but still, I would say this figure is 35k maximum, not 45. Yeah, Prisma Wings figures, right? Every single one of them are like 10,000 yen too expensive for what they are. Okay, moving up to the next one. I have some new information behind this brand called Proof. Okay, Nazuna Nanakusa from Call of the Night out of nowhere. Kotobukiya made an excellent figure of her, like more than a year ago, already released, and a bit difficult to find, but I think if you look around Mandarake, you might come across one. Nazuna from a seasonal anime called this title over here. Now with Proof, is it worth paying 25,000 yen for this figure of Nanakusa Nazuna? I think this photo of a face over here is enough to say everything you need to know about this character of this figure, right? Firstly, her face looks it looks bad. I just have to be honest over here. Her face over here does not look as good as the one in the Kotobukiya version. Kotobukiya is really good with faces. The second problem over here, which is probably only a problem to me but not to everyone else interested in this figure, is that we have some anime physics problem going on over here. I watched the anime, man. I watched it. And from what I could remember, Nazuna was so poor that I'm certain that she couldn't afford 100 bottles of hair gel. So what is up with her hair staying in place when she is upside down? Anime physics, guys. Yeah, pardon me for the long pause, the long silence over here because I don't know how to continue complaining about this figure, which is probably once again a complaint relevant to only me. Because if you were to sculpt the hair, sagging down, then her face would look a lot bigger than it actually is, and that would make the figure look even uglier than it already is. So I understand the problem over here of keeping her hair in place, right? So that the figure does not look even more uglier. And yes, I am calling this figure ugly because the Kotobukiya version looks a bit better. And the second problem is that I would say that you need to be careful with this brand called Proof, because they screwed up their Marin Kitagawa figure big time, man. Go to myfigurecollection.net and search for Proof 1/7 scale. Marin Kitagawa, the one in the Succubus cosplay, her face looks terrible and she is already being nominated into being one of the worst scale figures of the year when I publish my findings in late December. So their Marin Kitagawa is like not too far off the third-party resin figure brands who couldn't figure out Marin Kitagawa's face. And for that reason, I'm a bit concerned about this figure of Nazuna over here. So I would advise you guys to try and hunt down the Kotobukiya version if you can. Man, I spent a lot of time talking about this one single figure, man. Okay, moving on to the next one from 13 Sentinels, we have Aegis, Iori Fuyusaka from Aegis Rim. 1/7 scale by Wanderer, 23,000 yen, October release. That is next year, by the way. Now, Wanderer, I have seen a number of their girls' frontline figures in person, and they are not that great, like B to B minus. They're about Plum's level, if not worse. But I think you guys can tell right from the sculpting detail level of this figure over here in these product pictures alone. Compare it with the Alter version. Man, I always use Alter as an example to trash on other figure brands, but it is a fact that this is inferior in many ways. However, if you are a big fan of Aegis Rim, right, you just want every single figure of Iori, then why not pick one up? But I would say at 23,000 yen, not worth it. Wait for after release, wait for a bargain bin. A lot of figures by this brand, they bargain bin, by the way. Which is why I did not pre-order the black color version, the black color outfit of Mordred Saber and also Jen Diak, which went on pre-order months ago, right? 1/7 scale, about 23,000 yen each. I think they were AmiAmi exclusives, but no, not pre-ordering it. And my comment for this figure over here is the same. I won't pre-order it. I'll wait for after release if I want one. Moving up next, the last 3 figures on HLJ, they are affordable scale figures, and the first one is my favorite among the 3. We have Tenitol Tall, basically their version of Pop-Up Raid L, which is about 1/8 to 1/7 scale. fantastic size, great skill. Alia White Fox version from this anime with a long title, but she speaks Russian. Her VA, her Seiyu, is doing a fabulous work speaking Russian, which I don't understand anything except the C word, CYKA. So the thing is that this is a great buy at almost 10,000 yen. And Tenitol, yeah, they are about 1/8 to 1/7 skill. Their version of Good Smile Pop-Up Rate L. And there is already a season 2 of this anime announced. Yay! However, Suo Yuki is best girl, best immortal. Yuki is overshadowing Alia big time in the anime, man. I like her trolling antics so much. Yeah, I love Yuki. Come on, give us a figure of Yuki as well, Tenitol. In this same skill. I want one. Okay, moving on to the next one. Pop-Up Rate L, Whis from Konosuba, 8,000 yen, coming out in May next year. Now, this is a surprise to me because I did not expect a side character, an insert character which does not appear every episode in the anime adaptation, to get a Pop-Up Rate L. And in this case over here, this is a very good thing because number one, there are not many scale figures of Whis, right? 1/8, 1/7, not many scale figures of her out there. I think there was one figure brand who did a terrible job with a scale figure and she was like 18 or 20,000 yen. I think it was either Di Molto Bene or Belfine, either one of these two. They made a scale figure of Whis and it was horrible. Yeah. So I would rather you get this one, this Pop-Up Rate L at just 8,000 yen. And she will blend in nicely with existing high-end expensive scale figures of Aqua and Megumin from other brands, right? They're almost the same scale. That's the great thing about this figure of Whis getting a big scale. And the last figure of HLJ over here would be Oshino Shinobu Classic. 4,000 yen, normal pop-up rate coming out in April next year. In fact, I'm a bit surprised that it took Good Smile so long to come up with a cheap figure of Oshino Shinobu, because a lot of her scale figures out there are pretty expensive, even 10 years after release. The Good Smile version, where she is lying on a bunch of donuts, I think. Not cheap, even 10 years later, even look around online, right? Certainly not 30,000 yen, but still not cheap for such an old figure. So a cheap figure of her, a low-cost figure of her is always welcome. Moving on to the next section, AmiAmi, we are going to check out some figures that are not yet listed on HLJ at the time of recording. The first one, this is not an exclusive, just that Magic Arts and Kadokawa KD stuff, HLJ are always late with these figures from these brands. The first one would be Yuuko Saigyoji from Toho, from Magic Arts Chinese figure brand. 26k coming out in April next year. Very detailed figure, right? Yeah, she looks great. And figures with closed eyes like this, they are not very common. Do they include a second faceplate? Yeah, they do, with the eyes open. Because from what I know, not many people like figures with their eyes closed. But I think, in my opinion, is that it is a case-by-case basis. There will be occasions where I prefer the eyes to be closed because it suits the pose a bit better. Which in this case, I think she doesn't look too bad with her eyes closed either. And from what I have heard is that Toho project is incredibly popular in China. Yeah, I wasn't aware of that. Is this a good buy? Yes. Magic Arts is a very decent figure brand. Moving on to the next one, this is an AmiAmi exclusive. Hanikami Kanojo Shinoha Kurumi at 1/7 skill by Alumina, 24k. Hard to recommend. I mean, this is just generic swimsuit bikini figure and she is going for 24k. If it was 1/6, 24k is a bit more reasonable. 1/7, even with that beautiful base over there, I find it hard to justify. Even though this is a beautiful character, I would love one. Just for the pose alone. Very photogenic. Once again, I'm looking at figures from the perspective of a photographer. Very photogenic. I can put her next to a pool, even not necessarily a beach. And she would look amazing in photographs, right? But 24k is a bit too much. And the 10 lines over here, the Sun 10 lines, they look fairly natural. Not every figure brands are equal when it comes to doing 10 lines, right? Some, they look really weird. Yeah, it is like they are masking tape is too strong, or they are mismatching the skin tones a bit too much, a bit too heavily, and then the transition from the tanned or darker skin to brighter skin, it doesn't look natural. In this one over here, they are doing a fairly good job. Moving on to the next one, we have a 1/8 scale figure of Delta from Overlord. Oh, we don't get many figures of her, isn't it? I think Alta has a scale figure of her, but not in this armor outfit. I love women, I love pretty girls, I love lollies with armor, with weapons, with huge guns or swords. This is my kind of thing, just that the pose is a bit meh for sure. Yeah, 1/8 scale but 31,000 yen. Very pricey for sure because of the sheer number of parts in this figure. Usually what dictates the price of a figure is more than often the number of separate parts they need to create the mold for, right? This is why Nendoroids and also Figmas, especially Figmas, their prices over the year have been increasing faster. A lot more exponentially compared to scale figures because of the sheer number of parts. Regardless of the scale, they are small for sure, but all those separate parts, yeah, they cost a lot of money to make the molds, right? This is why whenever we have a major inflation like a big currency depreciation or any other factors, and there is a major price jump, yeah, the action figures will jump faster in price, increase faster in terms of the percentage of increment. Not a fan of the post over here, unfortunately. Moving on. Oh, there is a cheaper version. Okay. Let me take back whatever I just said about 31,000 yen being too expensive. So that was a Kadokawa special set which I somehow ignored for reasons that I don't know. I did not read the entire title for sure. So the special set, there is replica of the camouflage pattern scarf. Oh, a scarf. Very nice. Yeah. Okay. You're getting merch, right? Okay, so the normal version is going for 23,200 yen, which is a lot more reasonable, given that this is 1/8 scale. But anyways, everything I just said earlier about price jumps in action figures are a lot faster than scale figures. It still applies, right? There is still a fact. The number of parts is very important. Okay, moving on to the next scale figure from Kadokawa. Okay, recall we have Albedo Splendid Kimono version. I did not even realize that that is Albedo until I saw her wings, obviously. The face over there, that is not Albedo at all. Okay, so this is no special set, right? Okay, no special set. But I wouldn't call this expensive because for everything you're getting over here, 31,000 yen is actually quite the steal. There are a lot of stuff going on over here. 31k is reasonable, yeah. And this is a very unique Albedo figure. Very unique. Oh, this is so nice. After all these years, man, I don't have a single Albedo figure yet. Not even a prize figure. Up next, okay, we have a 1/4 scale binding figure. Just one, Rumi. And yeah, that is all I can show you. Because she is in the mission position, missionary. It is like entry level beginner position whenever you choose to do it. 40,000 yen is standard nowadays for 1/4 by binding. As for character design, I actually do like her quite a bit. Maybe that hairstyle is my kind of thing. Yeah, just like how I actually like Kana Arima more than Akane in Oshinoko. The last two figures on AmiAmi, wow, it is time to Iku! Elixir Priestess version. Wow, ASMR DVD set, man. It is not my kind of thing, ASMR, but some people love it. Okay, almost 30,000 yen to get her the DVD. But if you are not interested, then the figure only is about 25,000 yen. By Hot Venus, 1/6 scale, reasonable price, I would say. Yeah. Too many ecchi nuns nowadays. Too many of them. And then we stop by Ninin Game for a second. Now, this Sorasaki Hina figure by Beeful and Forts Japan. Some of you told me that you bought one and she was kind of okay. And given that how she is one of the more popular characters in Blue Archive, I'm not too surprised that she is getting a re-release. But boy, I would be so afraid of those wings, apostrophe, getting fractured or broken during shipping process. Yeah, I'm still afraid because this company, this brand over here, they use PMMA instead of PVC, which is more fragile in a way. Yeah, a bit like resin. And the last two figures are, Little Red Riding Wolf. Edgy figures, right? By Insight, 1x6 scale, 19k and 29k at 1x4 scale. Just a hoodie and a cape while wearing almost nothing. Yeah, I think you can imagine the rest, right? And that is all for genuine figures on pre-order this week. Now we shall move on to third-party resin figures, making use of OSGK, our affiliate partner for the third-party resin section. We have only one single Anya figure this week. Quite an adorable one, I would say. $100 at 1x6 scale is expensive for sure. Yeah, Dumpling Anya Forger. That is actually a mooncake she is sitting on. Yeah, the one we Chinese ate during the Mid-Autumn Festival. And if you have never tried one before, well, I would say everyone in my country has tasted a mooncake before, guaranteed. But for everyone else outside of Malaysia or outside of Asia and China in general, if you have not tried a mooncake before, give it a try. It is quite nice, right? Though sometimes, depending on the type you are eating, they can be overly sweet, which is what I'm not a fan of. I don't like stuff that are overly sweet. Anyways, this is a very cute figure of Anya. I actually like it. Just that $100 is very pricey. Now we move on to One Piece section. We have 3 figures, I think. The first one is an early bird pre-order of Boa Hancock, where we only have a 3D model and nothing else. So there's nothing much to say. This is a 1x7, I think. Moving up next, we have a figure of Nicole Robin pajamas. Is that a pajamas? Yeah, it does look like one actually. From Toys My Dream Studio, only $161. Yeah, as usual, One Piece resin figures, they're usually not that expensive and you get so much stuff. Look at the base over there. Moving up to the next one. Okay, only 2 One Piece figure, not 3. This is great. This is very nice. I love the action pose over here. And she is only $141 because this is a 1x7. Yeah, Android 18 from Dragon Ball by Light and Dust Studio, which is a pretty decent brand. And not to mention, when we are talking about Dragon Ball over here, I don't think there are many brands out there that would screw it up, right? Yeah. This is castable. You're getting extra parts. So $141 is a big bargain. Moving up to the next one, from Power Studio, we have Naruto Kaguya at only $60. This is almost like a bust figure, and no, thank you, I don't want one of these. It will make me have bad dreams, nightmares when I am sleeping, man. This is creepy. My room would become haunted one day if I display one of these on my shelf or something. Moving up next, this is really nice. Tsunade from Naruto. By Dragon Studio and Pop Studio, a very decent resin figure brand. I can recommend them. So there are several versions over here. The basic version, regular wear version, the one you're looking on screen, is only $468 at 1x4 scale. So this is very nice. Yeah, surely. This is slightly realistic. This is a realistic conversion, not the same art as the anime, but she still looks very nice and recognizable as Tsunade. And I won't scroll too far because there are edgy versions of her behind, in black bikini and without any clothes on, complete with a Heigao faceplate. So do check out other pictures. And if you get the deluxe version, you get multiple figures of this character, which I don't see a point, to be honest. Can go all the way up to $837. Moving up next, we have Asuka in swimsuit, something you'll see, at a beach. White shirt with bikini underneath, $199, but this is not final price. I believe that this will be cheaper. This will be maybe $150 or $160, but hey, get yourself that outer version earlier. This is not worth buying, too plain and simple. The second Asuka figure over here is a bit better, but I am not a big fan of her face. It feels like the chin, right? The jawline is a bit too triangular, too sharp. Yeah. From Lulan Studio, which is normally an okay figure brand. I love their Bronya figure with the huge bike, for only like $350. I love that one. I wish that I can afford one someday. This is Mecha Soryu Asuka Langley. 1x4 scale is $338 and the 1x6 scale is like half the price. Yeah. 1x6 scale or $190. Okay. The thing is that she looks nice and detailed from behind, but from in front, there are too few clothes on. I can't say I'm a fan of that. Like, give us options, you know, give us some additional magnetic parts to cover up her front. Yeah, leave her belly button exposed. I love nice waist, man. I love a nice waistline because I don't have any. I have 6 flaps, not 6 packs. But anyways, I love a nice slender waist. But we need a bit more armor, a bit more mecha stuff covering up a little bit more of skin, and that would be perfectly balanced when compared to her rear side, right? Okay, moving on to the next one, we are now entering 1x4 scale territory. Zor Studio is a licensed figure brand. We have Fights Break Firmament. Again, I've seen this title so many times. Maybe it is very popular in China. Xiao Yishan. $800 but not yet confirmed. I'm more inclined to believe this is more like $650 instead of $800. Yeah, they always overestimate the price when they are not yet confirmed because they don't want stuff like this happen where people pre-order it expecting it to be $500 and then a good surprise, it turns out to be $600 and then there will be fighting all over the place. Oh, you lied to me, stuff like that. I don't think they want that to happen. So they tend to quote the prices a bit higher, but the final price is probably a bit lower so that you don't complain. Unfortunately, that is how the world of third-party resin figures work. Okay, so typical Chinese manhwa game character design, right? The base is amazing. Oh, this hair flying up part is more dynamic looking, right? Yeah, this looks better. Moving up next, we have a doll for a lonely single man. Beautiful girl cosplaying as Hitori Goto from Bocchi the Rock by RHB Studio. RHB is a bank in my country. So the standard version is actually about $800+, and the deluxe version where you get all of the extra stuff and maybe higher quality material for the skin for $1,351. You know, the title over here, it is like the disclaimer you'll see at KFC or McDonald's. Oh, we have a bucket full of chicken. We have a burger with a big fat patty over there. For illustration purposes only, because the real thing you're getting is the size of a meat bun. So the disclaimer over here is that this is just a beautiful girl cosplaying as Hitori Goto. So please don't complain that she doesn't look like Hitori Goto. That's what they're saying over here. Yeah, for something life-size, $1,300 is pretty cheap. Moving on to the next one, licensed resin figure from Kitsune statue. Burn the Witch, Noel Niihashi. I think was it Mega House? I think it was Mega House. They have a scale figure of her as well for like 20,000+ yen at 1/8 scale. Non-scale but 1/8 size. So this is a licensed figure of her costing $550. Coming out in December 2025. I'm not sure if I can justify this thing for $550. Not even $450, not to mention $550. Yeah, get the Mega House one or whichever brand was it that did the figure. Of course, if you want a better base, like this effect base over here, then you get this scale figure, this resin figure. She doesn't look bad. This is a very detailed figure. Certainly more detailed than the Mega House one, but still, $550 is a lot of money for a 1/6. Moving on to the next one. Okay, from Meat Studio, we have Super Mario Lady's daily life. Wow, this is her daily life. Must be an exciting life. Okay, 2 versions, $276 each, I think, coming out in December. This is her daily life, man. I'm not sure whether to sympathize with her or to feel jealous about it. Yeah, a degenerate figure for those of you who want your favorite game characters in bad situations in general. Anyways, a very creative and original figure at least. Moving on to the next one, we have more degenerate stuff. Yukino Shita Yukino by SC Studio. Damn, this looks like something PP Jiang Studio would do. $229 only, which is fair for 1/6 skill, and you're getting a full toilet over there. I'm certain out there that there are many people who love Ahegao faces just like I do, which is why all of these degenerate figures come with such faceplates, man. Yeah, they know what you guys like. And then the next one over here, we have another degenerate figure, Lilisa Amano from 2.5D Seduction. Yeah, the anime was great. Go and watch it. And in fact, I actually like it quite a bit more than my Dress Up Darling. I like this 2.5D a bit more. Even though, I mean, if you look at character design, Marin Kitagawa is the prettier girl for sure. But in terms of the anime and the way, I mean, the story, the plot and everything, I prefer this one, this new anime. So by Cross Studio, we have $239 for a degenerate figure of Lilisa. Up to you whether you want one, right? This is probably their daily activity in their club room in school. Coming out in September 2025. And moving on to the next one, we have a swimsuit figure of Frieren from Galaxy Studio. Price not yet confirmed, but even if this is the real price, $121, yeah, that is pretty cheap for a 1/6 skill. With Frieren, I think my favorite one is the one by Tistel Senton Studio. Yeah, I think Tistel Senton Studio in her mage outfit. That's my favorite one. Okay, nothing special otherwise. And moving on to the next one over here, we have Ikaros from Heaven's Lost Property, Sora no Otoshimono. Anyone want to bet on whether this figure will continue production and be released instead of getting cancelled a month later because nobody is pre-ordering it? I loved Sora no Otoshimono. It was funny. It was hilarious. I think 2 seasons and a movie, but it is already old anime by today's standards. I think it was 2011, 2012 or so. Go and watch it. Yes, go and watch it. Unfortunately for this figure, her face, yeah, does not look like Ikaros that much, so I don't like it. Okay, moving on to the next one over here, another early bird pre-order. Oh no, this is not early bird, yet we have so few pictures. How can you expect people to pre-order your stuff when you don't give us enough pictures, right? From Wei Yang Studio and Chao Chi Studio, we have Violet Evergarden, $259. After what I saw with Hera Studio, right? Hera Studio and a 1/4 scale Violet Evergarden, everything else look like trash now. Yeah. Check out the 1/4 scale by Hera Studio, which is still on pre-order. Come on. Normally, when they don't show us the face, that is a big red flag. That is what one of you told me in the comments in the past. I agree. Okay, moving on to the next one. This is a surprise to me. R3 My Dear Moments, an ongoing seasonal anime. I think it will be ending soon, right? In 1 or 2 episodes. I haven't started watching it yet. By Roboco Studio, $163. That is the deluxe version. The standard is like $110 or $120. Now, why should you get this one when Aniplex is planning to make a figure of her? I think it was Aniplex. Was there an official scale figure of her? I think there is. Can't remember at the moment. Yeah, there is a very solid reason to buy the deluxe version because you want a lolly figure with no clothes on, obviously. Yeah, there is an ecchi version and you need to get the deluxe version for that. 1/6 scale, $163, fair enough. Moving up to the next one, okay, we are now entering Honkai Star Rail territory, and boy, we have so many Feixiao figures this week. And yeah, I can see Feixiao being very popular. A lot of people are going to pre-order a few Feixiao figures. Will the genuine figure brands like Apex Toys make an official scale figure of her? I don't even know how to predict, man. Jingyu is so popular and they did not even bother. And then suddenly, oh, here is March 7th. So I just don't know what Apex Toys is thinking sometimes. Yeah, very hard to predict. Maybe you would say, I don't want the third party, I'll just wait for the genuine figure brands. Apex Toys is going to make one. Not necessarily, unfortunately, yeah. I don't know how to predict. Even with my 16 years of collecting anime figures, some things are completely unpredictable. So the first one here is just a prototype with no price yet at 1/6 scale. This looks amazing, man. Whew. This is like the kind of rock you see in bonsai plants, the very artsy kind of rock. I like it. And some bamboo plants, typical Chinese culture stuff. But I like it. Very nice. The second Feixiao prototype. This is, wow, 1/6 scale, $499. No, this would be maybe $250, $300 at most. Okay, by Yashishi Studio. Only one single picture, right? Oh, the face is... They better deliver on the face. This face looks really good. Confident and fierce. I like it. The full figure. The pose is very familiar. It feels like they copied it from a genuine figure. But I can't recall which figure. It is not like you can copyright a pose, right? Moving on to the next Feixiao Studio. This is by Double Z Studio, otherwise known as Zor Studio. This is standard. Okay, no price not yet confirmed. Fine. But I would expect it to be around this price range, right? $250, $260. And the face on this one looks amazing as well. It is a tough choice between the three. I still like the first one the most, where she is sitting amongst some bamboo plants. This is not bad as well. Feels like looking at a FGO Lancer figure in a way. And with this one, you can get the Hadaka version, which is sold separately, unfortunately, you know. Maybe get the safe version from the Yashishi Studio earlier, and then get the 18 version from this Double Z Studio, right? So you have two different figures. Yeah, that is one plan as well. This looks nice. Like all three Feixiao figures have looked pretty solid so far. The fourth one over here, Spirit Demon Studio, which is also a very solid brand, right? I've seen a couple of the figures that are already released. They look fine actually, the face. I always look out for the face first. So this is an okay brand. No price yet, and the face is on this is also really good. Somehow it feels like this is the kind of character that most figure brands will not mess up the face. And this is probably the simplest among the four. Yeah, very simple figure. There is also an edgy version coming. I won't show the picture. So to check out other pictures in this page. Moving on to the next one from Shenlan Studio, SL Studio, we have Honkai Impacted Wedding Dress Teresa Apocalypse. I've been talking for an hour now. Sometimes I might stutter a bit. $284. This is hard to recommend, man. I mean, Arctic Wolf Studio has a wedding dress figure of Teresa as well. That one is a bit more edgy, a bit less clothes covering her opai. But if you are not into that, then maybe pick this one up. But the pose on this one is a bit sad, man. I love the details on the dress for sure. I love the details, but the pose is a bit sad. Oh no. No. In terms of the face, this is getting beaten by Arctic Wolf Studio, which is doing a better job. Not a fan of the face over here. Okay, moving on to the next one, we have Arctic Wolf Studio. Speaking of the devil, this time around swimsuit Alicia. Oh wow. So the standard version is actually going for $257, and then yeah, edgy version or going for the set, get both figures for $337. Not a bad price at all. And oh, that is very nice. So with Alicia, you have licensed options from Apex Toys once again, but certainly not in this not in this swimsuit. And this is obviously a copy of the genuine figures from Good Smile. Shirogane on a float. Or maybe Aqua Float. Taito Aqua Float. Marin Kitagawa. Same damn pose, man. Everyone's copying each other. Yeah. Okay, moving on to the next one, we have, okay, Genshin Impact section. We have Shenhe with a teaser pic and nothing much else by Honey Peach Studio. So nothing much to say from me. Next one over here, this is actually one of my favorite third-party figures this week. And I can't believe that it is coming from PP Saw Studio, PP Jiang Studio. At least this is not as degenerate as their previous releases. Yoimiya from Genshin Impact, where she is taking a selfie in the washroom. For some reason, some women really love taking selfies in the washroom. But I suppose that maybe the front camera, the selfie camera of iPhones really suck. So the only option is to use the rear camera And how do you do it? You take a picture of yourself in the mirror, which can only be found in washrooms, the big beautiful mirror. I like this a lot, and yeah, the standard version is like $220, and the DLC version is only an additional $50. Get the full package, right? It is not like you're paying double, so get the full package. Her face is excellent over here. In fact, this is one of my favorite Yoimiya third-party figure so far, and I'm surprised that it took third parties so long to come up with something decent. I think the bow figure, the Yoimiya bow figure by Starry Sky Studio was okay, but I like the face on this one quite a lot more. Moving on to the next one, Zenless and Zone Zero. I think only one figure this week. Piper Wheel. Is that her name? I don't play the game, so I don't know the name. Okay, a 1/6 scale by Mijin Studio. Trust me, in 1 or 2 weeks' time, Alice 21 Studio will come up with their own version of this character. They are all fighting for sales, you see. Well, I love my lollies. I'm not a big fan of this character design. I like Ellen Jo a little bit more. I like Sebastian as well, but this Piper Wheel, not so much. Okay, moving on to the next one. Oh, a second Triple Z figure, of course, Nico Demara, in a claw machine by Angle Wing Studio. You see, this is the funny thing, you know. I'm certain that the figure brand meant Angel Wings, judging by the logo, which I have mentioned this before like 2 or 3 weeks ago, but they misspelled it, and now every figure website have to follow the spelling. Anyways, claw machine Nico Demara. I can make do without the figure. I want the claw machine. I want a few of them for dioramas for my anime figures, man. And man, I mean, a fleet of claw machines at 1/6 scale, that sounds really expensive. Yeah. Okay, moving on to the next one, Blue Archive 2 figures. The first one is by Alice 21 Studio. I just mentioned them minutes ago. Tendo Arisu from Blue Archive, and oh god, there are so many versions over here, right? I am not going to scroll through. Basically, the same pose where she is lying down, wearing something that appears to be stolen from Hatsune Miku, and you can have her in this outfit or in white undergarment, white bra and panties, or you can have her completely hadaka, and then you can have her in combination of 2 versions or 3 versions, which is why there are so many versions over there, which I'm not clicking on them. This is ridiculous. Up to $280. Yeah, coming out in March very soon. And of course, yeah, you can have her with the relatively poker face looking expression, or the blush, or the hardcore one. 3 face plates over there. So when you are spoiled for choice, you go for the big package, right? You go for everything. The second Blue Archive figure, this one over here, this is, in my opinion, the best third-party resin figure this week. And unfortunately, you won't be able to witness both of these girls in their full glory because the huge melons over there, oh boy, this will not pass YouTube's rules for sure. It will not pass, right? Especially for us big channels, bigger channels that are monetized. Those of you who are not yet monetized, you don't have to worry about it, but once you get monetized, YouTube has an extra strict set of rules enforced. So that is the problem over here. But anyways, to check out their full picture over in OshGK, these 2 figures are glorious AF. And even though we already have multiple licensed, genuine PVC figures of these 2 characters already, Kakudate, Karin, and Ichinose Asuna by Aerita Studio, this pair of resin figures are still not bad purchases as long you are not allergic to resin. And when I say allergic, I don't mean in a health manner. I don't mean going to hospital because you had an anaphylaxis reaction or you have a bad rash. I am referring to being afraid, very afraid, having a phobia of your figures breaking. Yeah, as long as you don't have resin figure allergy or resin figure phobia, this pair of figures are really worth looking into. And the last figure for today, Azur Lane by Absinthe Studio. Oh. You know, there has been several third-party figures of Shinano already, but suddenly when Absinthe Studio reveals their versions, everyone else looks like crap in comparison. Well, crap is a bit harsh, but you know, they just look inferior in some way. The sculpting by this brand is just a level or two higher than many other brands, yeah. So while this is only a teaser pic and we don't have an official price yet, we don't even know if this is 1x6 or 1x4 because they have started making 1x4 now. This is also one of the best figures this week, together with the pair of Blue Archive figures earlier, for sure. And that is all for figures on pre-order this week. Which one will you hit the pre-order button? Let me know down in the comments below. And until then, yeah, please give this video a like and subscribe to this channel for more content like this every week. Until then, I'll see you guys again very soon. Goodbye.